Celtics Nation, welcome back to the Bleed Green post-game show. Celtics coming into this game, Ricky. We're on a 6-game win streak, heading over to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are currently, one of the best teams out west right now, man. They got an explosive young team, very fun team to watch, by the way. But they came out here and just played really, really good basketball. Now, there are a ton of things in this game that frustrated me, man. And a lot of them coming from Joe Mazzulla specifically. I think you're going to like it. What I have to say about this, because I know how you feel about Big Joe Mazzulla. But man, just a very, very tough game. Seemed like we didn't want to win defensively. We weren't there at all. Gave up 127 points tonight. Just a tough one. What are your, initial thoughts real quick before we deep dive into what happened in this game?
I mean, this has pretty much been the recipe for why they lose games. So, slow first start. First quarter, not great. Real rough, especially for Tatum and Brown. This was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen Jaylen Brown play.
No, terrible.
He was awful. Kristaps Porzingis was really the only one giving you consistent offensive production. Obviously, Derek White did his thing, and Al did his thing on defense.
And in the second half.
Tatum had a great fourth. It's a quarter too late. I mean, and then of course the thing that's been a disaster for this team all year has just been poor third quarter play.
Again,
too many turnovers. I think there was 6 turnovers in the first. Too many. It's just a very, very slow start to start off the game, and then on top of all that, now you have a very sloppy third quarter after coming out strong in the second and playing well. You had a great fourth quarter, but these games are really won and lost in a lot of ways in the third. You're starting to establish a lead, and it was just too big of a lead for the Celtics to come back on. And quite frankly, I'm glad they didn't win this game. They didn't deserve to win this game. I did have it circled as a loss when we did the podcast. We did the podcast. I just thought it was an iffy matchup. Gilchrist, man, Shea Gilchrist-Alexander, he's a dog. He balled out. Aside from a Tatum being on him, he really did whatever he wanted whenever he wanted. But it's just one of those games, man. They just didn't play well. Poor shot selection, shot below 40%. Where are all my Luke Cornett fans? 15 minutes, 0 points. The guy is garbage. Please put Neemias in there. Stop putting this bum into the game.
Coming at him.
He's a bum. He's not good. I'm sorry. He's not good. You can't give me any sort of consistent production. He's not good. I mean, he just doesn't deserve the minutes that he's getting. He doesn't deserve 15 minutes a game. Neemias is by far a better option. I don't get why they keep going to Luke Cornett. It's probably because of the versatility, but it doesn't make sense to me. He doesn't give you any value. There's no value to him, to his game when he plays on a consistent basis. Is he going to score every now and again? Sure, but
he's not consistent. I agree.
Where's all this talk? No points 15 minutes into the game. You don't put up a single basket. Peyton Pritchard had another bad game. I want to know where's Sam Hauser late in that game. He shot relatively well.
10 minutes, yeah.
I don't think he played enough. I don't think he shot enough. I think the shot selection was very poor. The people that maybe should have sat down and maybe shot less didn't, i.e. Jaylen Brown. I don't necessarily know if they drew up a play for him to make that last shot. If you're 0 for 7, you shouldn't be shooting the last shot of the game.
That was just like a last ditch effort. Their main area didn't work out.
2 seconds. 2 seconds left in the game. 2 seconds left in the game. The game was over. But still, is that a drop play? I'm just nitpicking at this point. But
all right. Well, let me tell you my 2 things that I took note of. And the first one. Okay, so coming into this game, Ricky, the Thunder were the best team in the NBA from 3-point land. How many times did we just sag off? Like, dude, there's probably 5 times I remember in my head where they would run a pick and pop action with Chet Holmgren, Shea, and I get it. I get Shea is so good. But why are we not covering Chet Holmgren from 3? 2 wide open threes. You had Lou Dort have 4 wide open threes to start the game. He did miss 3 of them. But still, we're giving them Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey had, what did he shoot today? I think he had 4 threes, 4 of 7 from 3. Left him wide open on multiple occasions. I just don't get it. When you come into this game knowing you're facing the best 3-point shooting team, I don't care. Give them the easy twos, guard the three-point line. That should have been the point of emphasis defensively in this game. But maybe I'm wrong.
This is coaching, man. This is Joe Mazzulla's system.
I agree. This is the first time I'm blaming Joe for a loss. I don't get. We gave 127 points. They shot 45% from three.
They give up 40 points in the third quarter. This is Joe Mazzulla. This is, watch how defensive he gets later on in this. I guarantee you're going to see a defensive Joe Mazzulla in the postgame. He knows it. He knows this game plan was garbage. He knows that his strategy was garbage. They had to deviate in the fourth. They had to change things up, and it was too late. It was too late after coming out flat, and they did in the third. So, it's one game. I mean, this is the best team in the league. I had it circled as a loss, so I'm not coming out here ready to swing on somebody if we lose on to the Jazz. Maybe I'll feel differently, but I had this as a scheduled loss. You're away. I feel like in the NBA there's only so many games in a row you win before you phone one in. I felt like this was the game they were going to do that. I think they didn't play well, and they quite frankly didn't want it more than OKC. OKC clearly wanted that win more, so they played they played great. I mean, that's a fun young team in a lot of ways. It reminds me of the Sacramento team that played well last year. They just had a lot of great players, and they've obviously had a ton of draft picks, and they've been hitting on those draft picks. So, kudos to them. They're building a team with good chemistry around them, and Chet's looking like the guy that I thought he was going to be in high school and what I saw him to be in college. So he's turning into that really solid player, and so shout out to them. That's a fun team to watch. Am I worried about them? No, I'm not worried about the Thunder.
Yeah, they'll be good in a couple. I mean, they're good now, but they're going to be nasty in a couple of years. But,
if they keep developing.
Before we get any further into the last couple points here, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. More podcasts, more post-game shows. We're going to be breaking down so much else content from here on out. But another thing I noticed, Ricky, and I don't know if you noticed this, but the final, I want to say 7 minutes or so, no Drew Holiday. It was Payne Pritchard. Drew was having a terrible game. Drew probably had one of his worst games in terms of, keeping the ball on our side. He was turning the ball over a little bit. He was shooting roughly. And he got benched. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like when you have a guy like Drew, and maybe he's just banged up, maybe he was hurt and didn't want to go back in or whatnot, or I don't know if Joe Mazzulla said, hey, you know what, let's play Payne Pritchard, maybe gives a better shot. I don't know what the goal was there, but like you said earlier, and I was going to say this, I'd rather have Sam Hauser. He's a better defender, and as you could see, do you remember the play where Jalen Williams bodied Payne Pritchard in the paint and he got a foul? Dude, if you have Sam Hauser, that's not happening.
He's too big, too strong for that. I mean, he was even giving Tatum some fits at times. He's a big, strong dude.
Yeah, he is.
Good finisher. It's not a good matchup. And I just thought, Sam Hauser was, for the little time he played, I felt like he looked good.
He played 10 minutes, 2 of 3 from 3. Like, I'm taking Sam.
It would have been nice to see him in spots. I would even have put him in over Brown in some spots in that game, just to give you some shooting versatility. He's not better than Jaylen Brown, so let's not everyone jump all over me here. But all I'm saying is it's okay. Not every night is going to be your night, and some nights are going to be bad.
Brown has been so good over the past 3 weeks, so good.
But I blame Mazzulla. You got to protect the player from himself. Jaylen Brown's not going to come to Joe and say, "Hey, you can pull me out. I'm a liability." Jaylen Brown's going to want to play. So it's Joe's job to say, this guy is killing us right now. He's got to come out of the game. This isn't the finals. So put the guy in that's giving you something and sit the guy who's not, and just say, it's okay, dude. It's not your night. You'll go for 30 on Sunday. It's not a big deal. But this is not the way this team operates. It's not the way Joe coaches this team. And some nights it's going to work really well for us, and other nights it's not. I mean, last time we saw it was against Golden State. Whenever we play the opponent's game, whenever Joe comes with this wonky little strategy to play somebody else's game, to not make defense a priority, to not prioritize quality shooting, to overshoot on the 3 ball, to not assess better matchups, we lose these games. We lose these games where we don't game plan appropriately, and I don't think Joe's the strongest game plan. And this is probably just experience. I just feel like he just doesn't have enough time with that, but hopefully these are some of the hiccups he can overcome when we get closer to crunch time.
I will say one thing on a positive note, though, that I saw from this game was, we were down 13 with roughly 4.5 minutes left to go in the game, and we came back. We made it a ball game, and
we fought.
This has been a thing that I've been, talking about all year long. Last year's team, we end up losing this game by 30. And quite frankly, last year, do you remember that game versus OKC? We lost by 50. with no Shea and no Chet Holmgren, we could dominate. This game we came back and actually made it a fight, a dog fight. So listen, it's not. Don't panic. We're fine.
They're not quitting. That's why.
Lose some games, man. You lose some games.
They've lost 7 games.
I know.
No
There's
one's
people in the stream. If
I
you guys
know.
don't know, I live streamed the Celtics game. There's people in there saying we're not one of the best teams in the NBA.
The sky's falling. The sky's
Everything's
falling.
downhill. Jalen needs to get traded. It's crazy. So don't panic. We're fine. Bad games happen. Losses happen.
You know, 70% of that's just trolls, little fubs. You know that. 30% of that are overreactors, a bunch of crybaby Celtics fans, and then the rest of them are just trolling for the reaction, and it's fun for a little bit. But I've been hearing y'all in the comment section. We will be doing a live stream sooner rather than later. We're just trying to get the scheduling. We're trying to get the scheduling. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
Coming soon. But guys, appreciate you guys coming through, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and also any questions that you guys comment, we will discuss in the next podcast. We'll do a Q&A. So make sure you guys
please comment how much you think Luke Cornett sucks. Not just tonight in general. Yeah. I'll like the comment, promise you.
All right, appreciate you guys coming through, man. Leave all your comments, and we'll see you in the next post-game show, the next podcast. Peace.